Welcome to the brief presentation with some examples on the use by date. We are going to discuss the topic with the examples of cardiac catheter with latex balloon, orthopedic hip joint implant, supplied sterile and implantable cardiac pacemaker. The Medical Devices Directive. Each require a statement given on their label and/or the information provided with the device on any time limitation on their safe use of the device. Although the wording differs, each addresses their need to provide their information as per MDD Annex 1. Point number 13.3, which state that the label must bear their following particulars. When you refer the sub-point T, it says, where appropriate, an indication of the date by which their device should be used in safety, expressed as their year and month. This video is made to assist their manufacturer in deciding whether a use by date is required for his particular device and indicate what information is required to support his decision. A use by date is required where a safety-related characteristic or claimed performance is likely to deteriorate over time. In deciding whether there is such a safety-related deterioration, their manufacturer must have regard to their results of the risk analysis and measures taken to manage risk. The risk analysis will identify those performances and characteristics necessary for their safe use of the particular device. For example, their risk analysis may indicate that sterility is necessary for safe use. Equally, their risk analysis would not cover their color of the device if this is purely aesthetic, but it might cover their color of the device if that color has a purpose related to safe use of the device. For example, their color signifies their size of the device. The risk analysis and measures taken to manage risk will also identify their level or extent of performance or characteristic, but only insofar as they are relevant to safe use of the device. For example, their level of resistance to gas flow or rate of leakage from a breathing system, or their probability of non-sterility. The risk analysis and measures taken to manage risk will also identify their period over which their relevant performance or characteristic would be expected to be maintained for safe use, including their shelf life and intended period of use. For example, their period over which a pacemaker battery maintains sufficient energy to function after implantation as long as intended by the manufacturer. Information that is required to support the decision. The manufacturer must demonstrate that their relevant performances and characteristics of the device are maintained over their claimed shelf life which their use by date reflects. This may be achieved by prospective studies using accelerated aging, validated with real-time degradation correlation, or retrospective studies using real-time experience, involving, for example, testing of stored samples, review of the complaints history or published literature, etc., or a combination of both their activities. As their absence of a use-by date constitutes an implicit claim of an infinite shelf life. There, manufacturer must demonstrate either a, that there are no safety-related performances or characteristics which are likely to deteriorate over time, or that their extent of any likely deterioration does not represent an unacceptable risk, or that their period over which unacceptable deterioration occurs is far beyond their likely time of the first use of the device. For example, 30 years. In doing so, their manufacturer must consider, amongst other materials of the device itself and those used in manufacture, including adhesives, coatings, packaging, etc. Methods of manufacturing. For example, attachment of components, package sealing process, methods of protecting their device or parts thereof from deterioration, for example, packaging, storage instructions, if relevant, state in which their device is maintained prior to first use, for example, without battery fitted, their potential for inherent time-dependent material degradation, for example, due to long-term effects of sterilization on materials such as that of free radicals from gamma irradiation leading to polymer degradation. A cardiac catheter incorporates a latex balloon to locate their catheter tip within and temporarily occlude a blood vessel. Their ability of the balloon to withstand certain pressure is necessary for safe use. Their latex of the balloon, however, deteriorates over time. Their packaging and their storage instructions to protect their device from light reduce the rate of deterioration, but do not prevent it. It is therefore necessary to give a use-by date. Their manufacturer must demonstrate that their latex balloon remains able to withstand their relevant pressure over the claimed shelf life, when their device is stored in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. A metal and ceramic orthopedic implant is supplied sterile in a composite plastic or paper unit container. Their ability of the packaging to maintain sterility is necessary for safe use, whilst their maintenance of sterility is in part event-related. That is, a function of the actual storage and handling conditions. It is also a function of time, due to, for example, their reduction in flexibility and seal strength of the package material over a period, rendering it more susceptible to their events which may compromise sterility. Moreover, as such implants are available in a variety of sizes to suit different clinical applications, a particular device may remain in their store over a long time until needed for implantation. It is therefore necessary to give a use-by date. In their case of maintenance of sterility, their use-by date will reflect a combination of their time-related deterioration in their performance of the pack. For example, seal strength, seal integrity and resistance to penetration of particles carrying microorganisms. B. Their probability of events occurring during transport and storage which compromise sterility, but are not evident, and therefore whether Warning not to use their device when their package is opened or damaged will not assist. Their manufacturer must demonstrate that their packaging material is able to maintain device sterility over their claimed shelf life when stored in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. An implantable cardiac pacemaker is supplied with a battery fitted and sealed into the device. Due to self-discharge, all batteries have a limited life even if not used. Their period for which their battery maintains sufficient energy for their device to function as intended by the manufacturer following implantation is important to avoid the need for a surgical operation to explant and replace the device unnecessarily soon. It is therefore necessary to give a use-by date. Their manufacturer must demonstrate that their battery retains sufficient energy to function for the manufacturer's claimed operating time even if implanted at their end of the claimed shelf life. In case of any query, please contact us at this email address. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for your time.